It's not too often that you can say the third seeded in the West is adding a potential high-level impact rookie to an already young roster, but that's the case for the Sacramento Kings this season. Euroleague MVP Sasha Vezenkov is finally coming over to the NBA after being drafted all the way back in 2017, and he'll be taking his talents to Sacramento. Over the past few weeks, I've been scouting Vezenkov relentlessly. Looking at film from both the Euroleague and Greek Basket League, I wanted to dive as deep as possible into Sasha's game and analyze exactly how he should fit in Sacramento. This was a ton of fun to do, so let's go ahead and get into the tape. Vezenkov gives the Kings instant high-level impact as a catch-and-shoot threat. With Sasha presumably coming off the bench for Sacramento this season, he's a near-perfect option to replicate Keegan Murray's role within the offense. Sasha shot 40% from deep in the Euroleague last season, and an astounding 43% in the Greek Basket League. Most of these attempts are off the catch, but they aren't easy looks by any means either. He has one of the quickest releases I've ever seen out of a stretch big, with mechanics as smooth as it gets. Watch how quickly he can go from this relocation off ball to angling his feet and squaring up into a shot. Sasha doesn't follow through as shooters are taught, instead bringing his hands down immediately following the release, but the energy transfer in the shot is very fluid. He only needs to align the left side of his body with the basket, which gives him more versatility to shoot off movement and relocations. You can see here how only his left foot is planted forward and aligned to the rim, with his right foot nearly parallel with the baseline, yet he's very comfortable shooting with his base. Because of these movement shooting traits, Sasha is a very ideal fit within the Kings offense. Olympiacos ran a ton of sets for Vezenkov to run off screens off ball, here faking a screen then coming off a pin down of his own. Look at how the Kings would combo actions like these for Keegan last season, utilizing him here as a screener for Fox to put stress on a defense, only to pop back out on the perimeter off a Sabonis DHO. Olympiacos would experiment here as well, using Vezenkov as a screener to divert attention away from him, then space back out to the perimeter. The only difference is now he'll be playing off the gravity of guys like Fox, Sabonis, and Herter, who all constantly pressure defenses with either their shooting or driving ability. Imagine Vezenkov in place of Keegan as the ghost screener here, where the threat of Fox's drive pulls in the gap help to create a wide open three. And Sasha doesn't need to be given that much space to pull the trigger from deep. Open room in any capacity is all he needs to be comfortable with that lightning quick release, and he isn't deterred by contest in the slightest. He's comfortable at shooting from just about anywhere on the court, with range extending out to the logo, stuff that's absolutely unheard of for a four-man. And talk about tension being applied to a defense. Think about having to chase a big man around DHOs a solid 5 feet behind the line, where any amount of space given is enough to allow a three. His shooting prowess is much more expansive than a typical catch-and-shoot threat with some movement capabilities. He has a certain comfort level off the dribble that's really intriguing, though he's famous for not relying on dribbles within his game. This may look like a Hail Mary to beat the shot clock, but these off-balance, awkward angled launches are just another item in Vezenkov's bag. He loves these step backs and side steps to his right, where he can drill these long balls without even having proper balance. He doesn't create the most amount of space with these moves, but again, he only needs a minimal amount of wiggle room to get his shot off. The threat Sasha imposes with this shot makes him a constant victim of overplays on the perimeter, and he kills defenses with these backdoors. With the spacing of an NBA court, and specifically in Sacramento, these opportunities will be plentiful for Vezenkov with the Kings. His off-ball instincts are off the charts. Any defensive lapses and he's cutting into the open space, creating easy looks at the basket. Watch how he sets his defender up with a jab on the perimeter, only to cut back door instead and finish at the rim. He has instant detection whenever his man has their head turned, looking to slither behind the defense and create passing windows with his cuts. He times these cuts perfectly, breaking hard the moment he sees his teammate's eyes up and scanning the floor. Watch how he's curling early on the weak side here, allowing him to attack a closeout from his defender who had his eyes on the ball. Sasha is excellent at reading defender screen navigation and penalizes players for miscommunicating or overplaying. Here he's setting a flare screen for his teammate, but with both defenders having their heads turned, he can slip behind them for an easy basket. Sasha will thrive in the king split action off the post. Here, instead of coming around off that screen, again using a slight jab to set up a slip to the cup. Use Vezenkov as an on-ball screener and watch as he slices defenses with that ability to locate open space. He loves to slip these screens with two drawn to the ball and leverages some of that shooting threat that he imposes to open up these opportunities. Watch how he opens up his hips, looking for seals and creating mismatches, drifting into the open space, and now is able to shoot over the smaller defender. But if you decide to hedge or blitz the ball handler, now Sasha is in a 2-on-1 situation, and he has great touch on these funky looking push shots of his. I love the process in Sasha's game as a high-feel, instinctual player. He creates that switch to get a smaller defender on him with this seal, and Olympiakos flows right into a high-low, floating this pass over the top to Vezenkov. Sasha feels the help defender commit, and flips the pass back to his big man. He doesn't have the deepest bag in the post, but he knows how to use his body, get position on seals, and take full advantage of his size whenever he gets a mismatch. But here's that high-low again, where Sasha can process on the catch, a second defender committing, and instantly spray it out to a teammate. His passing game is underrated, as he really had to develop this skill with most teams doubling him in the post. Just look at the number of bodies and attention he draws right here, and this is only off the catch, not even off the dribble. But he doesn't panic and he makes a drop-off pass down low. This quick processing and feel for the game makes Vezenkov an ideal connective passer. He's effective when making reads in the middle of the floor, and makes these decisions in a matter of split seconds. You can trust Sasha to operate and make decisions for your offense, rather it be out of the post or on the perimeter. He also became a marksman with his entry passes to the post. He leads his teammates to spots and knows the right angles to get them the ball. This is a skill that should translate well to Sacramento for whenever he finds himself on the court alongside Sabonis. Defensively is where the questions will arrive with Sasha. Olympiakos would let him switch onto the perimeter where he struggles moving laterally, especially against quicker guards. He's a bit flat-footed on this end, and here's that first misstep on his slide that opens his hips up and puts himself out of position. Sasha has trouble flipping his hips to get himself back into a defensive sliding position, and in the NBA this is probably going to be a blow-by for a layup. It's easy for these shiftier guards to get Sasha leaning or striding off balance, and I would expect him to be hunted on the perimeter in the NBA. Oftentimes, when he feels he's about to get beat, he'll offer a quick foul to reset the possession and get himself out of trouble. Again, another habit that just isn't sustainable at the next level. Put him in a ball screen action and his struggles are even more maximized, where he doesn't have the size or body to get skinny through screens, and his technique puts him behind plays and forces him to recover where he just doesn't have that recovery speed. The 7'2" rim protector Mustafa Fall could bail Vezenkov out on these displays of little resistance on the perimeter. And here when Sasha overcommits on his hedge and lets the offensive player split the middle. Here he does a great job of funneling his man into the gap help, which might be the type of aggressive packline defense Sacramento needs to play when Vezenkov is being hunted. But there are still instances where Sasha impresses with his mobility, here flipping his hips and changing direction, staying stride for stride with the ball handler, then managing to decelerate and get a good contest. I love the balance he shows here, taking a bump from the offensive player but staying attached to alter the shot. Despite many of these point of attack shortcomings, Vezenkov's feel and instincts make him at least a passable team defender. Here when his teammate gets beat, not only does he step up to cut off the drive, he anticipates the contact and takes a charge in the process. Though he's not the most explosive vertical leaper, watch how he times his jumps from help positions to erase shots. Sasha's usually on time in recognizing his duties as the low man, here again with excellent timing on his jump and a vertical contest. His size and early detections of these actions allow Vezenkov the chance to blow up these looks from the weak side altogether. But Sasha could still use some improving in this aspect as well. In some of these positions as the low man, he's a step slow in recognition and doesn't have the necessary burst to make up for it. At times he's distracted by cutters and ball fakes that place him out of position for where he needs to be as a helper. Here he's leaving his spot as a low man a little bit too early to chase his man out to the perimeter instead of offering weak side help at the rim. And occasionally you'll see him overhelp and turn his head, where in situations like this he needs to have better spatial awareness. But the more I watched, the more I came away impressed with Vezenkov as a player. His fit within the Kings offense is flawless and should give him immediate production on that end. Some of the defensive shortcomings may be troubling, but not enough to negate his overall positive value as a player. As always, thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. This was one of my personal favorite deep dives I've done on a player, and I hope you all enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.